Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build Life from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing? I hope you are well. We're back. I have internet. Isn't it wonderful? So yes, we are here to finish some projects. Because, well, to be honest, I was doing work last week, I was doing this work this week, and I really don't want to have to think about big important projects. So, first bit of, it's been a weird week, hasn't it? Let's get that out of the way. It's been a very weird week. Who, this time last week, thought we would be seeing ready-to-run Stroudley carriages from Hornby? Let's be honest, it's no one, is it? I certainly didn't. Smash that like button. What Alex said, smash that like button. Smash it for Hornby's Stroudleys. So before we start, I do have our next project planned. I've been meaning to do this one for a while. I actually said I would do it for Corpse because he wanted to see a brass coach build. So our next big project is going to be the South Eastern and Chatham Invalid Saloon. Fine, smash it for me then, Alex. What's wrong with Hornby's Stroudleys? I mean, they're not perfect, they're far from it. But they're Stroudley carriages and they are ready to run. I mean, look, my collection of Stroudleys are still in a box waiting to be dismantled and rebuilt. Because Hornby can go words I can't say. That they can go away and reproduce, I believe is what you want to say. We do not have Stroudley or Stroudley Kittens commands for some odd reasons. But yeah, so instead of doing that tonight when I'm, not really ready to think yet, I thought we'd do stuff I don't have to think about. Bit of painting, putting the windows in that, bit more painting, some transfers, all that good stuff. However, the reason I am all knackered and not wanting to think is because I have been working on the recording studio. Work has started on the proper recording studio. I have been in there today, actually started building it. So it will not be long until we will not be sitting in my living room. We will not even be sitting at this workbench because I'm building a new workbench out there. I know I've only just repainted this one, but, oh well. So, is the new one going to be mauve? No, it is not. It is going to be white. So the new workbench will actually be constructed next week. Today was work on prepping the room and getting it ready. You may find that at some point in the next few weeks, this background behind all my tools becomes curtains because I've taken the walls away and put them in the recording studio. We're at that point where I can almost do that. So it's rather exciting. Where did this mauve thing come from? Did I miss something? When I repainted the workbench, James suggested it should be mauve, and that the white wasn't the top coat. I don't know why. You would have to ask James about that. New workbench. This workbench will live still. We're going to have the same bit of glass on the new workbench, so it won't all be new. But this workbench was designed to be portable and fold away and stuff, and it does have fold up legs on it. So it's going to be folded away and put in a new cupboard that's just had space made specifically for it to be put away, so I can use it in other places. can take it to shows with me, for example, and have my workbench. Because I'm that sort of person. But yeah, so I even did a, you know, ceremonious, you put in the first baton, put the date and everything on it. I'm not even kidding, there is a picture on Discord of the ceremonious baton with its date and everything on it. So go join the Discord if you want to see that. !Discord in the chat for a link if you don't have it already. Or oakhamwoodrailway.co.uk/Discord. Because it's easier than remembering what it actually says on Discord. So we're going to start. We're going to put some paint on here. We're going to put a second coat on here. And then they are going to sit and dry. We'll put some windows in there. And probably get some paint on one of these whilst we wait for them to dry, and then we can get some transfers on them. That is the plan. This is of course one of Linny's South Eastern Railway stepped round end wagons that we built in all of 20 minutes, half hour, something like that. I've just realised I have forgotten to get the paint for the interior out, so I'd best grab that. We're going to put it in the same livery as this, which was not my original intention, to be fair. But then I decided I wanted it in that livery. And I've just realised I've put away the book. When I was tidying up earlier, I've put away my book that had details of its number. Good evening, Great Northern. How are you? I hope you are well. Very strange line. Why not make the whole end curved like everyone else, I wonder? Well, I can answer that for you, Alex. Hang on a second. Let me see if I've got something that isn't this blooming finger that I'm holding covered in paint to demonstrate. Because there is a reason and I do know it. That's covered in paint now. That was clever, wasn't it? I've got a big long stick I want to transport. I can now transport it in this wagon that I couldn't transport if it had rounded ends, because if it was on rounded ends it would just roll off. That is why it is there. I asked someone that knew. Blue tack stop paint spiels. Indeed, there is about to be some blue tack stop paint spiels. There is the blue tack. It has stuck, that's okay. It wasn't sticking at first. I am very well, thank you, Great Northern. Thanks, Phil. Happy day to you all. Hello, Z Fantasy Trains. How are you? I hope you are well. There we go. I'd obviously stuck that too far down if it didn't want to come off, and now it's rolled off under there. Makes sense. Keeps it used as a normal open. Exactly. I believe they did also have the same diagram of wagon with the full rounded ends. Someone would need to confirm that for me. Linny, maybe, since it's your kit. Very well here, thank you. Excellent, glad to hear it. But yes, as well, this is all set up, ready. It needs paint, it needs transfers, it needs buffers, it needs couplings. It is having sprung buffers and obviously scale couplings, so I've decided it would be easier to paint it without them in place. The holes are already in the end. Good evening, Ian. Thank you. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. I approve of sprung buffers, indeed, James. They make shunting significantly more realistic, especially with scale couplings. They did have very similar wagons with fully rounded ends, yes. See, I didn't make it up. I only kind of half made it up. Fact check everything I say tonight. And there we go, a quick coat of paint on here shows just what a good job Linny did. Go on, focus on the wagon for me. There we go. Doesn't it look fantastic? Yes, yes it does. Good evening, Alexander. How are you? I hope you are well. It is good to have so many people here joining us so early in the stream. It feels good to be back. I did miss not being able to stream last weekend. So where did that kit come from? This kit was one of Linny's kits from when they were doing laser cutting. This was provided to me as a test build with no instructions. We built it at the end of a live stream a little while ago, with Linny basically telling me whenever I was getting it wrong. And there is the bot to remind everyone to smash the like button, or give it a gentle tap if you prefer. And to make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell whilst you're down there so you get alerted when I upload a video or go live. I'm well, thank you. I'm trying to build LBSC style layout using the old Erridge track plan. Oh, very nice. I very much approve of Brighton layouts, and Erridge is a wonderful track plan. I do believe I have all the details, including all the drawings for the buildings at Erridge, in a book. Rippling is laser cutting, it will sadly be missed. Indeed, Alex. Someday it may return. Can't even get into the building with the cutter at the moment. Well, yeah, that's a good reason to not be doing it at the moment. Certainly worse reasons than I physically can't access the equipment. May I ask the name of this book so I can keep my eye out, thanks. Let me grab the book off the side and double check the Erridge stuff is in there. Because it is right next to me. Here it is. I have the book. Let me check the buildings. It does have Erridge. So there is Erridge Station building. Sides, ends, floor plan, the lot, and that is from The Cuckoo Line by A.C. Elliott. Definitely worth getting. All the buildings that were at the station are there. Just showing the station building as an example. They are all there over multiple pages. Definitely worth a read, that book anyway. Always nice finding books like that. Indeed it is, Alex. Thank you, certainly be a purchase. Thank you again. Not a problem. I got it because I'm doing a model of Hailsham further down the Cuckoo Line. Well, the first station after Polegate, so the first one proper on the Cuckoo from the south end. No command for errage, James, no. The rest of them all work though, and yes, hydration is indeed important. So let me finish what's on my brush, and we will remind everyone of that. Like, I'm even in the old style cup today, but hydration is indeed important. Talking to a friend of mine, he's a transport planner today, mentioned many years back, he did a survey of the old track bed around Hailsham. Interesting, I say, other than the housing estate they built on it in the 80s, it's all still usable. Because it is a cycleway now. Hydration important, kittens hydrated, hydration kitteny, kittens important. Importance kitteny. I'll take your word on that, James. Indeed, it was served taking it into the cycleway. Ah. See, what they should do, they shouldn't have turned it into a cycleway. They should have turned it into a railway, because what Hailsham really needs is a rail link. Shouldn't have turned it into a railway, it should never have ripped it up in the first place. Well, that's true. And it's a bit weird that they did, because Hailsham, unlike the rest of the stations on the line, was still making money when they closed the line. Hailsham turned a profit. And was growing. Can't make a profit from only one station. No, it would have, if they'd have torn up the line northwards, it would have continued to make a profit. Go on the route down to Eastbourne and Polegate. That alone would have been profitable, and the business case did state that would remain that alone would be profitable, and Hailsham could have stayed open but recommended for its closure along with the rest of the branch for some reason. Market town equals profit. Indeed it does, Ian. Rail links are handy and so is profit. Again, very true. Found out the other day, NSE was pretty much the only part of the sectorised BR that was making really good money. Well, I assume that's because passengers are generally a profitable cargo when you have enough of them. And you can run them on electricity. That's the key thing, I think. And of course, the line to Hailsham was not electrified and would have been continued to be it's being run by thumpers at the time, so would have carried on being. But wouldn't it be nice to still be able to have that? Must have been the livery. I don't think I can agree with that, Paderborn. Cuckoo Heritage Railway. Indeed, that would be fantastic. How did that one get pulled away? It's not even touching. Silly thing. So yeah, I do have a selection of photos of Hailsham just along the top of the workbench, because why wouldn't I? Rail Match Sleeper Grime is what I use for interiors, and that is drying quick enough because it's soaking into the MDF that I reckon I can get away with straight away painting the interior. You could always hold it by the underframe. That's my intention, but I've still got to put it down on the underframe. And I use Sleeper Grime because A, it's bare wood, B, it's dirty. Here I am going to all the trouble of making wagons out of wood so you can leave the interior unpainted. Yeah, but it's got like splodges of grey paint on it from somewhere. I don't know where they've come from. So I think it needs covering over. I would blame someone rushing painting it personally. Sack the wagon painters. Yeah, exactly. Those darn wagon painters. Otherwise it would have been very much left alone. But yeah, whoever was employed to do this was terrible. They should definitely get the sack. So there's even all over the bottom there, dripping all down the insides there. It's just horrendous, really. Tell you what, that fan is really giving it some in my laptop tonight. I have no idea why, but it was overheating the battery the other day, so I'm going to let it get on with it. Go. So, Has anyone else got any projects on the go at the moment? What are we up to in the audience? I do like to know. I always find it very interesting to hear about what everyone's doing. Cutting out rubber to store my new locomotives. I approve of safe locomotive storage. What new locomotives have you got, James? In a little bit I should be scanning some drawings and having a poke at LSWR History Dining Saloon. Excellent, Linny. And try and set up my label printer after an OS reinstall. No one likes printers. No one likes printers. Or OS reinstalls for that matter. CAD time again. Yes, we approve of when Linny does CAD. Currently testing a TS scenario of the last HST at Landor Depot Swansea back in 2018 as the new 800s were taking over. It's a rather sombre feeling. It sounds like a nice scenario to do though. It's messing about with some woodland scenics, just plug lighting. Excellent. I have used some of that stuff, some of their stuff from that range before. It's always worked very well. There we go. And whilst that's open, let's do the interior of this one. Revising for A-level mock exams next week. Oh, fun. A-level mocks. God. It's been a while since I've had any exams, never mind mocks. I hated revising for them. Locomotives S15 King Arthur T19. Very nice, James. Very nice indeed. Testing the ratio coach I built rolls well. Excellent. I approve of coaches rolling well. Approve of Swansea. Excellent. I have Brighton J on the go as per the logo on the front of that book you just mentioned. Excellent, Ian. I do like a J. I must get the... I suppose I'll have to get the Golden Arrow kits of them and do both the J1 and the J2 at some point in the future, because I do like them. A J, a delight indeed, James. Good selection. And there, James, hopefully. And there's a link to my Twitter account, because the bot wants you to know that I have a Twitter. In this scenario, the controls of an HST is enjoyable. I really do think the modern dark green GWR livery looks great on them. It's alright. I have seen worse liveries. I'm not a fan of how they stylise GWR personally, but the colour's quite nice. Playing with an Arduino and Visual Studio, trying to send data in both directions and set up a virtual control panel and mimic panel for the laptop. Excellent. I do like projects like that. And there's no reason an Arduino can't do it, so you'll get there. I made a DCC controller out of an Arduino. Well, I used to make lots of them actually, once upon a time. Economics can often lead to railway talk. It's not all soon doom and gloom. Railway talk is definitely never disapproved of, although it can sometimes be doom and gloom depending on what railway you're talking about. It's a relief. The first one I built, wheels kept coming off the rails. Well, I'm glad this one has gone well for you then. If an old Ace kit builds either J1 or J2 but not a good kit. Ah, that's not... I hear the Golden Arrow one isn't great, but I did enjoy my Golden Arrow D3 I built, so hopefully, knowing some of the limitations of the Jade kit, I can also enjoy that one. Yes, lettering is a bit iffy, colour is lovely. It is indeed, Alex, you are right. Both directions are the best sort of directions. Indeed, James. One way is easy, it's getting data back into the computer that's giving me problems. Yeah, fair enough. I can sympathise. Got to shoot off, try to pop back later. Okay, Simon, thank you for coming. I hope to see you later then. Front power car is one of the Welshman ones with a nice stylised dragon. The rear one's Kenneth Grange. Painted the original IC125 DR blue livery. Nice set, really. Oh, that does sound good. Sounds very good indeed. Right, so with that done, we want to put some paint on the outside of the Open A, which is this one. That, of course, is the Newcast Open A. It was also built at the end of a live stream. I think it took about an hour. Slightly longer than the Linny one. But still good. I'll post a couple of shots on Discord tomorrow if I remember. Excellent. I will look forward to seeing them or not. We'll find out tomorrow. Well, that's not what I expected to happen. The label came off the outside of the tin as I pushed it down. Well done, Humbrol. Well done. I'm not going on the PC much while lockdown is happening, as Mum needs PC to teach online lessons during the day. Yeah, I did think that might be the case, Alex. Hopefully she's not finding it all too stressful at the moment with all that. I certainly know some teachers are struggling with it. Still, gives me more time to play on the PlayStation. That's one way of looking at it. So she spent the entire weekend planning lessons. It's not much fun. No, that doesn't surprise me. Especially with how the government dropped it on them all last second as well. That feels safe. My son's school teachers were in working both yesterday and today. Not going to say anything about that. I don't want to get angry in the chat. Yeah, fair enough. See, schools are shut again, Paderborn. Over here. One day, I'll get some time away from the children. It will happen, I'm determined. Still, their school's been really good. So, there's that. But because where I am has been quite bad since the schools reopened, it's actually meant that since the schools were closed in March originally, my daughter's only actually had about 3 weeks at school. Teachers are working on a rota for the key worker kids, so one will be in Thursday to help with that while still teaching online lessons because teachers have infinite time. Well, yes, obviously teachers have infinite time. We all know that, Alex. Car, that doesn't even need saying. You know, the way I've heard a lot of schools doing it is they have assigned a team to do the key worker stuff, and those teachers that are on that team are not doing online lessons. The online lessons are being taken by other teachers, including having massive class sizes where necessary, because class sizes aren't such a problem online. When you're just talking at a bunch of people with their cameras and microphones off, which is how the kids' school is doing it. The underframe on that, although needing a bit of touching up, isn't actually too bad, so I'm going to leave that for now. Yes, that's the way it should work, but not my school because head teacher is a word I can't say on stream. Yep, fair enough. Ours are too, but the legal requirement for lessons meant that it has to go online. Schools are meant to start tomorrow. They were told to go online on Wednesday. Oh, fair enough. So I don't know that all the teachers at the kids' school are working. I think only the key worker provisions are working from the school at the moment, plus the required admin staff to keep the school running. I think, but most of the teachers are working from home. Hope we can enjoy the summer though. Please say Boris allows us to. Well, I mean, that's down to how well the virus is managed in the meantime, Alexander. Yes, it would be great if we could enjoy the summer, but it really does depend on how well it is managed and how well people follow the rules. So, you know, wash your hands, stay indoors, only visit grocery stores, and wear a mask. I'm not actually going to sing the whole of the baked potato song because, you know, that got old during the first lockdown. Teachers working all hours they can. Teachers doing everything they can to help kids, and still they are being attacked by some of the public as lazy. Oh yeah, it's absolutely atrocious, isn't it? The way that people are acting about it. And of course these people are only acting like it because they're like, oh, now I have to look after my children. Yes you do. So get on with it. Otherwise kids need to be a teacher. Hard to find a more thankless job, yep. It is indeed. Right, so we have a brake van that we've seen very recently that has no windows. We do, however, have some acetate and some glue and glaze, so we can correct this problem with a lack of windows. If the duster will get off my scissors. It's emergency cover at school. This any business must go on. Anyone who needs to work can still send the kids to school. Yeah, anyone still going to work here can send their kids to school. But we're on a don't go to work order as well. And now, if I've measured that accurately with my terrible measuring methods, that is now fitting in there quite nicely. This is why it means so much to teachers when kids say thank you, because no one else does. It's nice to know hard work they put in is appreciated. Indeed, and I say, I certainly know what it's like for the teachers. I worked in a school for long enough. You're a teacher? God, this must be fun for you going through all this then. Your work is indeed appreciated. So I had one of the teachers phone up late Friday morning. Not a teacher I'd ever spoken to before. Obviously the school are phoning round making sure kids are doing okay. And he phoned up and spoke to me. And I couldn't believe it. At the end of I told him, yeah, the kids are getting on, they're doing their work. They're missing school and all that. And he turned around to me and said, you know what, it's been really nice talking to you. I've been phoning people all week and you're the first one I've spoken to who's been positive about what's going on. And I couldn't believe that. I thought that was absolutely astounding. Because the school are doing their best and they are doing what I would consider a good job in the circumstances. Have a whole week where I was the only positive person he'd spoken to was kinda depressing. And it's a good job, I'm working for good people and the kids are just kids. Well, excellent. I am glad you enjoy the job. So I used to work in a school many moons ago. I was not a teacher, but I did a small amount of teaching in clubs and stuff. So I know what it's like. Luckily most parents Mum has spoken to have been decent people, but some are just horrific. Yes, I'm sure they are indeed. I actually feel like I'm doing a live stream every day and we have fun. Excellent. That sounds really good. I am glad to hear that. There we go. So now we're going to let those windows dry. Once they are dry, I will stick some glue and glaze just in a few spots along there and drop the roof on. I could do that now, but I prefer to let it have lots of air and dry, and obviously if anything goes wrong and it doesn't dry properly, I can just rip it out if the roof's not already on. It's not unusual. I usually have a different worldview than the average. Well, if your worldview is more positive than the average, that is excellent. So, as the bot said a little while ago now, hydration is important. This is not an Oak Hill Model Railway mug, however if you would like one, !merch in the chat, you can get one that says hydration is important on it, because why wouldn't you want one that says hydration is important? Thank you, Alex. Aren't my mods great? That's sort of dry, so I'm going to put some paint on the underframe. The outside needs another coat. The inside does not. So we're going with matte 32 from the Humbrol range. I did well at getting that, didn't I? Which is a dark grey. I never use black. But you wouldn't, but you know, it looks right for black. So the underframe and footboards on that are not black. They are a very dark grey, but they look right. It's going to sound quite a difference in certain kids since moving to online teaching, and many who play up in physical lessons are good as gold online. You know why that is, don't you? They got their parents looking over their shoulder. Why did I put the blue tack away? And for that matter, why did I put the paintbrush away? But yeah, I bet that's why it is. I bet it's because they've got their parents looking over their shoulder. Also, I think not having any others around them, it's harder for them to play off each other in chat form. That's true. Yes. They've not developed that skill yet. It's a good job we live now and not in the days of MSN Messenger, when they would be well versed at playing off each other in chat form. See, technological advancement does have its advantages. Oh, MSN Messenger, those were the days. Indeed. What great days they were. That was the true peak of online communications. Can still hear the sounds. Oh, I can't. And yet I've heard them on a video that someone sent me recently, and they were all instantly familiar. MSN Messenger, positively newfangled. I remember ICQ. I mean, there are still ICQ channels going, James. MSN Messenger isn't. So, does anyone know if any manufacturer has made Maunsell drop light coaches SR olive green, please? I do not know. I will pass that one to the floor. Does anybody know? Maunsell drop lights in SR olive green. I know someone that would know, but he's not here. Even though he said he'd try to be here. See, James, this is why we don't get new commands, because he's not here. Not great on SR coaches, sadly. No, fair enough. You need to learn, Alex, because, you know, I don't know if you've noticed, but you've got SR layout now. Would Lady Alex know? She might. Matt would also know, because he's been going through SR. He's literally been going through SR carriages that are available today. and comparing them to what he has. True, but my SR lands operate by SR emus and I know about those. SR emus, are they like the emus that Australia went to war with and lost? We should never let Australia live that down. So we are going to paint the body again. Bit more tame, but still deadly. I've put that blooming blue tack away again. I remember emu with rod hole, as do I. Well, that's one way to cover the glass with paint. I'm glad it's only the glass, because I've only just repainted this workbench. I would have found it mildly irritating if that had been onto the actual surface of the workbench. I have not yet got any stains on it. Nature feeling alright, it's actually above freezing tonight. I'd forgotten what that feels like. Yeah, it's above freezing. No, it can't be above freezing here tonight. There's been ice on the ground all day and yet it's telling me it's above freezing. Like the tree over the road, which is absolutely massive, looks like it's been snowing, there's so much ice on it. Well, frost, but you know, same thing. And yet my watch is telling me it's above freezing. Freezing point is not the same as the melting point. Well, true. True, I suppose. It felt below freezing when I was out there cutting the wood for the recording studio earlier. But I can't say I was actually paying attention. And onto the last side, and this should hopefully be the last bit of paint we need to put on this wagon. Gonna paint my wagon, gonna paint it good. There's a Simpsons reference for y'all. Last night was really cold and so it was super frosty out this morning, but then we had a milder day. It's all gone. It's all very wet looking now, which is not as fun. No, so it is still it has been really frosty all day. Gonna paint your wagon, gonna stain that wood, gonna paint your wagon. Gonna use oil-based paint because the wood is MDF. It's not quite as good, is it? I am at least using oil-based paint though. I rewatched that clip a few days ago. It's a good one. It is a great one. It's been a long time since I've watched anything Simpsons. But anytime I'm painting a wagon, I think about that clip. As I think is appropriate, really. I'm going to put the paintbrush away this time because I want a smaller one. I'm going to redo the blue tack because it's a bit flat. And look at that, I've painted the side. It wasn't that quick. Anyone else know the Simpsons softball song by heart, or am I the only one that loves that episode on a strange level? I do not know it by heart. Oh look, the bot wants you to know that I have a really cool website. So yeah, the last time you saw this on stream properly, it only had one side painted umber. It had no white on it. The rest was all still red. I have off camera painted the whole thing umber. It's had 2 coats and I've got the white on it on this side. So what it needs now is the white doing on this side, which we're not going to do the whole of tonight. Once those are a bit drier, we're going to get some transfers on them. That'll be the next thing to do. This is filling time. And then it needs glazing adding. After that, I have adjusted the pickups on it. So, when I got it, this bogey was only picking up from this side, and this bogey was only picking up from this side, and that was how it went. It now has that one on each bogey on each side doing the pickup, and it will have all-wheel pickup by the time I'm done. Once that's done, it needs lights. So it will have cables which run up. There's a hole here that goes into the into the luggage compartment there, and there's a hole on this side which comes up under this seat. I'm going to run some cables all the way along, and in here will be a bridge rectifier because it's running on DCC, so it needs a bridge rectifier to make sure the LEDs are getting DC power properly, and it'll get a lamp, get an LED in each compartment and in the driver's compartment. I also have details of what the driver's compartments were like in these. This has no interior for the driver's compartment, but it does for the rest of the coach. So I'm going to do the driver's compartment nicely, possibly even put someone in it, and then it'll get a roof. So that is the long-term plans for this coach. It will then go on its own behind a Terrier and spend the rest of its life running fiddle yard to station and back. I can't sing. I've never let the fact I can't sing stop me. Been told I can sing really well, but my anxiety means I never do. You can. I have heard you sing when you were playing Minecraft on stream. I have heard you sing, Alex. And you do sing well. Now, as we all know, I hate white paint and white paint hates me. So this is going to go well. That actually sound nice. Hello, Will. How are you? I hope you are well. T9 appears to be a victim of Mazak rot. That is not good. Is that just on the motor mount is where they go, isn't it, James? Mum really hoped I'd sing professionally when I was younger. That. Well, Morty have his planet. Excellent. Excellent. I look forward to seeing your work on that when it's done. That is where the problem is, yes. Peter's Spares sell replacements made of brass, I believe. So hopefully you should be able to get that sorted. Not a problem, James. So it's a common problem on them. I remember it, and I remember Peter's Spares doing replacements for them. Hydration is important. Good evening, Andy. How are you? I hope you are well. Yes, thank you. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Oh yeah, something else this needs that I forgot to mention is transfers. I do have the transfers for it. There is a very good chance that this will become the first carriage in my fleet in umber and white that actually has class designations on it and such forth. So I have the transfers, but so far nothing has them on. But of course, every step we bring it closer to completion is a bonus. And the reason I have none with the class designations on yet is quite simply because I hate painting the white panels. So a lot of them reach the stage of getting painted umber and then they never see any more work done to them. I almost feel like I should move my modelling period to after they stopped and coaches were just all over umber. Or go back slightly earlier. I'm only, what, go back 9 years and umber livery doesn't exist yet. Earlier equals better. It does indeed. And you know what? I don't think I have ever seen a bogey coach in mahogany in model form. It's nice to have a mix. It is indeed. I've got photos of bogey coaches in mahogany, but I can't recall ever seeing a bogey coach in mahogany modelled. I approve of mahogany. Mahogany is a great livery, isn't it? Oh, mahogany in general is great as well, yes, fair enough. Are you going to buy the Genesis coaches? I will be getting the Genesis coaches in South Eastern Chatham livery and the Hornby ones that they've just announced in Brighton mahogany, because the Hornby ones very much are Brighton coaches. It's very resistant to woodworm. It is. I have in my kitchen a big mahogany cabinet in that deep red mahogany that 19th century carriages would have been. It's a fantastic colour. I cannot confirm or deny rumours that my cupboards will be that same deep red mahogany. So hope someone will make ready to run bogey mahogany coaches soon. It would be nice. I will have bogey coaches in mahogany. I have a very specific rake planned for them. It was a proposed, got all the way to having drawings done, but never built rake of 7 close coupled bogey clerestory carriages. Proposed in the 1890s. So, had they have been built, they would have been in mahogany. The centre carriage is almost a spot on. In fact, it is a spot on match for the odd triangle first clerestory. It just needs the handrails and stuff doing on it. But compartment width, number of compartments, it's all perfect. Just ordered the T9 motor mounts. Excellent. Hopefully they will be with you soon and you will get your T9 running beautifully. Would be interesting to model, could have been, or almost was. Yeah, exactly. There were rakes of exactly the same layout, same 7 carriages, same compartment layout built, but they didn't have clerestory roofs. But I do like these ones a lot, especially the fact that they didn't exist. But I think they would be the perfect coaches to go behind what I am dubbing the L2. Definitely sounds like an interesting plan. Yeah, thank you. And the L2 is because originally, when Brighton was building the L tanks, the big 464s, they built 2 in the works. The first one was a tank engine, 464, was completed and sent out for testing. The second one, however, was built as a 460 tender engine, using the same pattern of tender as is on a K-class. It never left the works in that condition, but it did exist. They were really happy with the tank engine version on its trials, so they rebuilt it to a tank engine before it ever left the works. So an L2 tank with a rake of 7 bogey clerestories behind it, I think sounds excellent personally. I have modelled following drawings, but found when they were actually built they looked totally different. It's rebuilt the car. Yeah, that seems to happen quite often. It does seem that at certain works, at certain points in history, drawings were more of a recommendation. Of course, the only problem with my plan is the L's were way too late for mahogany coaches to still be mahogany. But I'm not letting that put me off. Details. Exactly, Alex. Details. Minor details at that. Those LMR flats are not right, but is that stopping me? Exactly. As I said, they're not right, but they're not bad. And you're not going to get anything any more right than they are, so why not? So remember when I said we weren't doing this whole coach? It turns out that that was a lie, because it would very much appear we have pretty much made it down. And it would be a bit silly to stop with 1.5 compartments left, wouldn't it? It needs a lot of touching up, but that's what happens when I do these. Productive lies are the best lies. Yes, indeed. I genuinely wasn't planning on doing the whole thing, but I got carried away whilst talking about mahogany coaches and how that is clearly the best carriage livery the Brighton had. At least the motor works. Carriage. Once you get into things, it's often hard to put it down. No, it's not. Trust me, putting down this doing this panelling is not hard. I very much enjoy putting down this panelling. It's the sort of thing I would genuinely consider paying someone to do for me if I didn't have just so many to do. But there we go, we did the whole thing. So now it's got white panels on both sides. Only you'll notice that these ones have had... Oh no, they haven't had a second coat, they've just dried a lot. They've just gone on a lot nicer than that. Huzzah indeed! Got a paintbrush in my mouth now. And the reason we say huzzah is because we don't have to do that again. At least not tonight anyway. Let's stick that up there because we are going to do some transfers. We're going to do the SECR wagon first, even though I've put the blooming book away. I'll have to get that back out. It's good when I tidy up and put away things I actually got out because I need them out. There we go. So I'd best get the book. I'm going to miss having the bookshelf next to the workbench. That's the only thing I'm going to miss about it being in the living room. Right, there is one. 746. We'll go with that. Why not? It's the one on the drawing. So that is a shame. Well, I mean, it'll only be in the next... Well, it'll be a couple of rooms away. But that's why I've got a be right back button on the thing so that I can leave the room and get stuff. So on here we will have SE and CR on here, 746 on here, and it also goes, where is that? It also goes up on this plank on the end. And we will, as usual, be using HMRS Sheet 13 SR Goods Vehicle insignia to the best of our ability. I think it's probably time that this specific sheet of these died, if I'm being completely honest. Another running number for the other one is 40480 SER days, ignore that. It is indeed. But there are, I'm sure there's more numbers in here, is there not? In fact, 746 is one with the full round end, not a stepped end one, so I can't go with that one. Hang on. .4054 had a step 10, step 10 believe 4031 for 4080. Excellent, that will do. 4054 as per your first suggestion there. I was originally going to do this in SER livery, but then decided I was doing it in this livery instead. I can't remember why I decided that. Those are SER numbers, not SECR. Did they change numbers when they became SECR? Because I'm happy to pretend they didn't. No, you're too high up. You're too high on the bottom of the plank, please. That's better. I'll tell you what, this MDF one, as I'm pressing the transfers on, feels a lot more fragile than the brass one. Obviously no one should be shocked by that, but you know, some people might be. Hydration is important whilst the SECR hydrates. Looks like SER wagons get the numbers, LCDR ones got them changed. Excellent. That's the sort of news I like to hear. SE and CR. So 4054 is what we're going for. I've just got to find the numbers that are the same size as that SECR. I think it's these ones over here. Let's double check. SECR wagon numbering followed SER practice. All SER wagons keeping their old numbers. That'll do indeed. Thank you very much, Linny. 2 mil. 2 mil, and those ones will be 1.5, won't they? Yes. Right. So of course, the numbers I want are the ones from this end of the sheet where it's all completely curled up and totally ruined. There's a 4 that's been cut in half on the bottom of my 4. I'm afraid, cut in half 4, but that you are destined for the bin. Beats the LSWR numbering system, use the lowest unused number, which is fine up until you start withdrawing wagons. Yeah. LMS have followed MR practice, much to the annoyance of everyone. After not having worked for 3 weeks, finally have to again tomorrow, so I'll say good night and keep modelling. Good night, Paderborn. Thank you for coming by. Enjoy work. I hear that's something that people sometimes do. Oh look, that 4's on my finger now. And, rather annoyingly, the right way round. Right, you go in there because you won't move anymore. Maybe you're moving a little bit fast. Okay, you will move again. There we go. Suddenly your batch of wagons have wildly different numbers, sometimes randomly jumping back and forth. Yeah, makes total sense, Vinny. So now we want a 5, preferably a 5 that won't stick to my finger but will instead stick to the wagon. I'll assure you you weren't missing anything by being off camera there. I was just fighting with the sheet of transfers. And the backing paper on this is too big for me to get the next number on, so I'm going to have to wet that and get it off before putting the next number on. I would have liked to have put the whole number on and then done it all at once, but there we go. Can't have everything, can we? Now we want an O and then another 4, because of course we are writing it backwards. And there we go, that O has come off so nicely. I can do the 4 next to it as well. This sheet really is knackered. Talking about low numbers, I still love the photo of my butts of XMR240 New Street, not long after grouping, nice big gold 1 on its tender. Excellent. I hear low numbers are good. At least that's what all the collectors tell me. One of the MR locos marked for preservation before the Stania massacre. Of course. Darn Stania. I really should open my last one of these, shouldn't I? And use that instead. I'm not going to. Because you see, if I do that, then that means I've wasted all of that sheet that gets thrown out. We'd have so many normal preserved pre-LMS locos if he hadn't done what he did. Indeed, and it is such a shame that he did. Because it would have been great to have so many more preserved pre-grouping locos. There we go. 4054 looking very 4054-y. Don't look too close at the number because I clearly didn't do a great job of putting it on. But I'm happy with it. I'm wondering if I'll manage to get a 4-digit number up here though. Because that strikes me as being distinctly longer than that gap I've got. So I might leave the end numbers off rather than messing it up. I mean, you're not going to see them in the middle of a train anyway. Seems like only the LMS and LER cared about preserving locos. It speaks volumes. City True only survives because the LNER, the GWR couldn't care less. No, indeed it could not. But at least Gladstone got preserved. The Southern did that right. Okay, they sold it to someone else for preservation. But they could have just easily scrapped it. I don't think it was ever preserved directly by them. Southern looks like over the World War II have no scrap for the war. Ah, shame. I did not know that. At the Bug, Isle of Wight, 240 and Terrier put to the side in the paint shop. Yeah, yeah. Does preserving a Terrier that early make sense though? Isle of Wight 240 was mid-repaint when it was scrapped. I mean, it's a shame that was lost. No, I mean obviously it's a shame they were all lost. But the fact that so many Terriers made it, does preserving one that early really make sense? So really, turning GWR that didn't care about its history, you know, the one group and company that was most obsessed with its history. Yeah, so it seems. Well, I mean, it was just the Great Western that didn't care. But then, you know, they sent people to other railways so they could ruin them. I wish an LBSC D1 was preserved. So do I. It would be great if an LBSC D1 was preserved. But instead, you see, Alexander, I got I made an agreement with everyone on my live stream about building a full size, you know, a new build D1. And I said, and I mean it, I will do it. If we can get the donations total up to £10 million, I'll do a new build D1. Exclamation mark donation in the chat. But you know, you got to hit that £10 million first. Well, we're not there yet. No hope. Oops. Donate. Do you think I agreed to it because I thought it was going to happen? Right, so we need a 4 and a 5 and an O and a 4. He says. I think I've got those numbers right, haven't I? there is my first 4. I think the terrier was not scrapped in that group. Ah, fair enough. To be fair, I've seen some insane string goals over the years. And mine is clearly extremely insane. It's at the most insane end of that, isn't it, Alex? The Alpha is looking better than T9. Excellent. I like things that are looking good. I think it ended up as the shunter for the works. Oh, yeah. What one was the shunter for the works? I can't remember whether that's one that lived or not. I've got a feeling it was one that lived. Hornby Alphas are excellent models. No Mazak rot there. Excellent. That's good to hear, Alex. Can't remember which works. Well, there was only Brighton Works that had a terrier. And they painted it up in Stroudley livery. Right, now we need another 5. Yes, 5 next, yes. Again, much like the other side, there is too much paper on there, but that side was already cut, and with how loose it all is, I couldn't cut it any tighter. So we shall get the backing paper off these 2 now, and then we'll do the last 2 letters. Such rather strange, T9s were the only one of the few steam locos to have Mazak rot problems. The vast majority of 50 models were 31s and 50s, annoyingly. They were indeed. Hornby Scots and Patriots were also affected. Yeah, it was a shame that any of them were affected, but Mazak is one of those materials that if you don't get it right, then you are going to have problems. But of course, if you do get it right, it'll last and last and last. Look at the Triang chassis, they're all Mazak. We had some afflicted Scots in the shop and the chassis were literally crumbling in our hands. Yeah, it really does go, doesn't it? And it's the amount of impurities in the alloy. That's all it is. If you get an impure alloy, it will fall apart. I think I read the rot is caused by impurities, specifically when the casting foundries don't cut the steel binding wire off the bundle of material before melting it down. Well, there we go. See, that's what I was just saying. Dear me, the brass should be good as a replacement. The motor is confirmed working. Yeah, the replacements from Peter Spare are brilliant. Posted pictures of the preserved southern locos. Excellent. I will look forward to seeing those. Well, the Alphas are definitely a delight. Also excellent in the Discord. I assume that's where you meant. Yeah, it was a certain time period when it happened. The Bachmann SRMs were also affected. Yeah, because at the time, at least, Bachmann and Hornby were using the same factory. So what affected one affected both. Right, and some water on them, and then we will be calling that wagon done. I'm going to let the paint really harden before putting glue on it for the buffers. And then it just needs the couplings adding, which, well, it's not getting there until I buy more. Also, the yellow didn't really preserve that much. I can't really think Stanley had. Hate the other locos taking up space in the paint shed allowed work to keep two locos at 4 even memory serves. Remember to smash up the folks. 50s, 33s, or the 31s were the worst affected. Not only did the chassis go, but it would push the outwards and crack the ends of the bodies, ruining everything by the bogies. Indeed it did, and some of them went really bad. So cut the 044 and note it so that we'll preserve scrap loads earmarked by the LMS before Stania came along. And of course, where did Stania come from? Right, and there we go. There is the other side. Oh, that 4's too low, but other than that, I'm really happy with that number. There we have the wagon. Indeed, the one company that hated preservation. Exactly. Exactly, that is the point I was making. He came from there. Right, everyone, do remember to smash that like button, because I have an absolutely terrible headache that's come on whilst I was doing that wagon. It is throbbing just above my right eye. It is really, really, really painful, so I'm ending early. I do believe I have a bit of a migraine coming on. So I'm going to end the stream, I'm going to go and take some painkillers, and I'm going to go lie down in a dark room. I don't think I've ever had to end early because of illness before. But yes, so thank you for coming everyone. It's been absolutely fantastic having you here. I've really enjoyed it up until getting this headache. You might have noticed me taking bigger pauses in stuff, and that's just as the pain was hitting. So yeah, thank you for coming. It's been absolutely wonderful. I have really enjoyed myself. I hope you have too. Probably no Tuesday video this week. I don't think I'm going to have time to make one. Review on Thursday, and then we'll see you back here next Sunday for the live stream. So yeah, thank you for coming. This has been Let's Build. I've been Gary. You've been awesome. Good night.